Hi guys, welcome back to the 5th and 6th grade science class. This is our second to last class. Bad news alert. We will not be meeting on the last class like was originally planned. So I'm gonna try to set up a Zoom conference call, video chat thingy, Zoom. We're gonna try to do that on the last class so that you can present your science fair findings. And usually what we've done in the past, when I have taught this class in the past, we would have our science fair on our last day, and then we would just kind of hang out. Usually people would bring some treats and things. So pretty much the last class, all we will have is our science fair. And so that's gonna be next Monday, and I will send you Zoom instructions, and we're gonna do it during our normal class time, which is 10:30 to 12. And I look forward to hearing about your science fair projects. If you need any help with that, you have about a week left. So just let me know if you need any help with putting that together. You should be able to get a poster board. We're looking for a tri-fold board that's in that sample. And you should be able to get that from the grocery store. They usually have them there. Dollar Tree is really great, and I believe that they have still been open because they also sell groceries and things like that. So it's $1, which is great. We like Dollar Tree a lot for all sorts of things. Anyway, let's get into chapter 15. It's our last chapter on the immune system, and we're going to start with our vocabulary words. These are our first two. Pause the program to get these written down. And one more. Go ahead and pause the program to get this one written down. Okay, let's start talking about this one. This one is fungi. This is a pathogen that causes diseases such as athlete's foot. And I don't know if you've ever had athlete's foot before. I have had athlete's foot before. It's very itchy. It's like little raised bumps. Usually it's between your toes, and it's not very pleasant. Ringworm is also a form of a fungi, if you've ever had that before. I know we're talking about diseases. This is super fun to talk about, right? Some people really enjoy talking about this. This is what they study. They love learning about all these different things. What I love is our doctor took one look at it. He's like, oh, that's athlete's foot. There's some spray. Just spray it on there. It'll take care of it. And it did. Like within a couple days, it was all gone. So no big deal. And that wasn't very fun. But anyway, fungi. Kind of itchy. They're not very like uncomfortable, itchy. Okay, this is epidemic, and this occurs when a disease spreads to many people in a short period of time. We are currently living in an epidemic. The coronavirus, the novel coronavirus or COVID-19 is an epidemic, and then it got upgraded to a pandemic, which means it spanned the whole globe. So this is a very historic time that you are living in. And so I am really grateful that our responsibility as citizens is to just stay home. That's something easy for me to do. I don't have to send my husband off to a war. I don't have to give blood and sweat and tears to something. I just have to stay home, which, it's getting a little old. I'm sure it is for you guys too. We've been doing a lot of puzzles lately, puzzling a lot. And we talk about the puzzles, and anyway, puzzles, yes, puzzles. All right, bacteria. This is a common pathogen that causes disease such as strep throat. Have you ever had strep throat before? I have had strep throat before, and it is very uncomfortable. What's nice is because it's a bacterial infection, I could take an antibiotic and it just took care of it like that. No big deal. My daughter had strep throat that became scarlet fever, which means that she had a rash all over her. And that's very scary, and kids used to die from that, but now they have a great antibiotic. They give an antibiotic and it takes care of it. And It's a very simple treatment when you have a bacterial infection. All right, so those are our words: epidemic, bacteria, and fungi. Fungi is athlete's foot, bacteria is strep throat. You have to know that for your test, those diseases. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put our vocabulary words away, and I need you to go ahead and pull out this page. It's called Removing Pathogens. It's a lab we started last week with the bread. So go ahead and pull this page out. And also, if you did this at home, pull out your bread, and we're gonna take a look at your bread and compare it to my bread. So go ahead and pause the program to get these things out. Okay, so Mr. Sylvie, actually I'm gonna ask my trusty helper to come and hand me some bread. And so our bread is over here. Yeah, that is, can you, cameraman, and do that at the same time? Look at him, he's multitasking. He's being a cameraman and he's tossing bread this way. My bread is gross. I wonder how your bread is. I would love to see your bread. I know this is really weird, but if you do this experiment at home, I would love to see the results of your bread. I know that's weird, but please send me pictures of your moldy bread. Your teacher doesn't say that every day, does she? Send me pictures of your moldy bread. Okay, so this is my results here, right? So we have, draw a picture of the results, draw only the slice of bread. So sometimes I have students who want to draw like the, bag and all the details of the bag. You don't need to do that. Just draw the bread and then color in. I don't know what kind of colors you guys have. For me, I would only need like a beige color and a green color. And I actually probably would just do the green color. And so you can draw a picture of your bread and just make it a square. And then you can color in which part, how much of the bread has the mold, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys what happened with ours, okay? This is my unwashed hand. This is the one that was untouched. I used a paper towel to grab the bread. I cannot believe how much mold is on this bread. Like almost the whole thing is covered. Just this little bit is not covered. It is a very green gray mold. Look at that back. I can't believe it. I thought for sure this one would be relatively unharmed. But bread does mold, especially if you get it wet, because we sprayed it, right? So it does mold. I'm just a little shocked, to be perfectly honest, with the results of this one. And I'm interested to see if your results are different. So send me pictures of your moldy bread. Okay, next one. This is, if you did not do this at home, go ahead and pause the program so that you can draw a picture of this on your page. Or if you did do it at home, you should also pause the program and draw a picture of yours. I hope you did that. If not, pause now. Okay. What's nice is you can also rewind with this, right? That's nice. Okay. Here is dirty hands. And so this, I had my dirty hands and I just rubbed it all over. And this one is actually less moldy than the other one. Here is no mold. The back, the bottom is also not molded. Now remember for this, I opened it and I went shh, because remember I'd forgotten to spray it. See, that is a variable I added. I should have made everything the same, but I think it had a little different, because this may have just been dry. I don't know. All right, this one is soap and water. And if you look, this one actually has the least amount of mold. In here, around here, is not moldy. And around here is not moldy. I think that's really interesting. It's kind of moldy there. Okay, I'm gonna hold this. Go ahead and pause the program. Ooh, pause the program and draw a picture. I'll hold up this one too. Pause the program and draw a picture of these two. Okay, I hope if you did have yours at home, you did it at home. You can rewind. Okay, I'm still getting hang of this YouTube stuff. Thank you for your patience. Okay, hand sanitizer. So this one, totally green on the back. And then here it's like, this part is like beige. And so go ahead and pause the program to draw a picture of this one. Or draw a picture of the one you have at home. Okay, this is the cell phone. This one surprised me. I thought that would be dirtier, right? Now, we'll say that we are using Clorox on our cell phones. Like, if we leave the house and we come back, we Clorox our phones. So maybe there was some Clorox still on. I don't know. I'm kind of baffled by how little mold is on here. I don't know. I'm curious to see if I leave these for another, oh, pause the program to go ahead and draw this one. I'm curious to see if I leave these for another week, if I would get a different kind of mold growing, because all of these molds are pretty much the same. They're like this fuzzy green gray mold. And I wonder if I left it longer, if I would grow a different kind of mold. I have them sealed up in a bag. It's really weird is my cat found them. And I'm like, how did she find them? Like, when I say find them, she just like went over to I put them in one of, the kids have like a, I call it their tower, but it's like a rolling cart and all their school supplies are in there. And my daughter had an empty one. And so I had it in there and she would walk by and she'd go and she'd sniff right in there, which is really weird. I'm like, how do you even know that's in there? I have them sealed. They're sealed, right? Cats. Maybe some smell comes through. I think so. I don't know. I'm gonna let it go for another week. Maybe in our Zoom call, if you'll remind me in our Zoom call, I will pull them out and see if we have any changes, letting them go for another week, okay? Because I'd like to see if maybe some of them, maybe like all of them are gonna grow the green mold, but maybe some of them are gonna grow a different kind of mold if they go for another week. I don't know. I'm kind of curious just to see what will happen. Aren't you curious? I'm curious. Okay. I kind of feel like it was a little bit of a fail because I thought for sure that the untouched bread would have like no mold and the other ones would have more. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a little baffled by the results. Okay, so we have some questions here. Was your hypothesis correct? Why or why not? And remember our hypothesis was, my son was like, they're gonna see my handwriting. Anyway, if we rub dirty hands, washed hands, sanitized hands on bread, then we will see, and you write down what you see. And then was your hypothesis correct? Why or why not? So go ahead and pause the program to answer that question. Okay, for this, I would say my hypothesis was not correct. That's why I'm baffled right now, right? So my hypothesis would have been, I'm gonna hold this up for you, okay? Because my husband's got a weird camera angle going. I would say that, I would have thought that the dirty hands would have been the worst, and then the sanitized hands, and then the washed hands would be the best. And maybe that's true. Of those three, dirty hands, washed hands, I guess that, no, their dirty hands looks better than the hand sanitized, right? So my hypothesis would have been wrong. All right, why was it important to have a slice of bread that was untouched? Go ahead and pause the program to answer that question. Okay, it was important to have a slice that was untouched because it would act as our control. Because then we would know if the things that we were doing was causing it to mold or if it would have just molded anyway. And I think what we found with our control is it's just gonna mold anyway. Like it's just gonna mold anyway. I expected this to be like, anyway, yes. Number 3. Why was it important to have a slice of bread that we used dirty hands on? Go ahead and pause the program to answer that question. Okay, it's important for us to know, it's important to have a slice of bread that we used dirty hands on to see if cleaning hands makes a difference. I think it does. It's less moldy. Yeah. Okay. Number 4, did any of the results surprise you? Why or why not? Go ahead and pause the program to answer that question. So my answer would be yes. I would have expected the untouched bread to be unmolded. Unmolded? Not molded. So I was a little surprised by that. How dirty the untouched bread, or how molded the untouched bread was. I was surprised by that. And maybe your results are different. I would love to see your moldy bread. Number 5, does this change the way you think of cleaning your hands? Go ahead and pause the program to answer this question. Okay, I don't know. I don't think it would change my opinion because I think something went wrong. Now, I'll be honest with you, I used bread that was on the older side, right? Because I was like, we're gonna do an experiment. Maybe I need to do this experiment again with like brand new bread. And we also use wheat bread, and I think that has more moisture, and so maybe that molds more. So maybe, but then white bread, I don't know. Y'all, I'm just baffled. And sometimes science is like that. Sometimes you do something and you get results and you go, all right, I'm gonna have to do this again 3 or 4 more times to figure out what's going on. And scientists do that. They do things multiple times in order to figure out what's going on before they draw conclusions. That's why a lot of experiments that we do, we will have at least 3 trials. So if we were to do this scientifically, we would probably need to do it again, at least 2 more times. I'm gonna leave it for another week and we'll see what happens. And I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. So, all right, guys, moving on to our next activity. I'm gonna just pack up my bread here. Okay, our next activity, if you were in my classroom, we would go outside and we would play something called Immunity Attack. I thought, how can I recreate that for a YouTube video? And the truth of it is, I can't. So I sat there and I Googled and I looked for like some kind of card game for immune system, and I just like couldn't find anything. And then some of them would have required your moms to like print out like 50 cards on cardstock and cut them out. And I don't mind doing that for class, but I wasn't gonna ask your moms to do that. So I came up with something, and my daughter and I tested it out last night, and it's really fun. She's like, oh, this is fun. So, all right, I'm gonna explain the rules to you. She's over here, she's waiting. She's gonna play with me to show you guys how to play. I'm gonna explain the rules to you. What you need is you need a deck of cards, and then you need to take out all of these cards. These are called clubs, right? Clubs? The clover ones. They're called clubs. So I want you to take your deck of cards. There's 52 cards. Take out all of the clubs. And hey, if you have a deck of cards and you're not sure there's 52 cards, it's okay. This game will still work. Everything will be just fine. Okay, so take out all the clubs and then put those to the side. We're not going to use those. So what you'll have left is you'll have spades left, you'll have hearts left, and you'll have diamonds left. For this game, can we show this down here? For this game, you do not need to worry about the numbers as much, okay? So this is how it works. You have 3 different levels. It's kind of like War, if you've ever played War. So you're gonna play against one other person. The hearts represent the humans. They're the lowest level. They're the most vulnerable of your different suits, okay? So this is the hearts, any heart, not just the 8 of hearts, any heart represents the humans. Your diamonds represent the virus. They're like a mid-level, okay? Level 2. So these are your viruses, okay? And your spades, which to me they look like shields, so I thought they would be the white blood cells. They're like the warriors, and they're the most powerful, okay? So what we find out in the human body, we have a human. They get infected with the virus, and the white blood cells come and they eat the virus. And I was so curious about this. I found a cute little, I say cute, it was a picture of a microscope, of a microscopic image of a white blood cell chasing around a bacteria and then eating it, because I was like, what is this and how does this work? And it was like in black and white. It was really fascinating. I was like, how do they eat it? Anyway, so it was cool. So we have the 3 different levels: hearts, diamonds, and spades. And you play like a war style. And if you play the same suit, then whatever the number is matters. And for this, ace is the most powerful. So it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jacks, queens, kings, ace. And so Ella and I are gonna play a couple rounds so that you can see how this is played. It's really fun. Okay, so here we go. Because we're only using 3 suits, we have an odd number of cards. So, and for this, you want more cards. The more cards you get, the better. Okay, so I'm gonna deal out the cards, 2 piles. I know, this is riveting watching. This deck has more cards. So whoever washed their hands the most recently gets the most cards. When's the last time you washed your hands?
Like an hour ago.
Oh, mine was like 2 hours ago when I took my shower. So there you go. So she gets more cards because she washed her hands more recently, okay? So this is how you play. You can hold your deck of cards like this in your hand, or you can do it like Ella, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then you both flip at the same time. And oh, we both played white blood cells, but her card is higher, so she gets to take that pile. And you want more, that's the goal. Oh, we both played viruses, but my virus is more powerful than your virus. We both played white blood cells, but mine is more powerful than yours. How did this happen? Okay. All right, mine's a human, hers is a white blood cell. She wins. It's more powerful than the human, even though it's part of the human. Anyway, you get the point. Oh, white blood cells. My white blood cell takes her human. Okay, my virus takes her human. Her virus takes my human. Her white blood cell takes my virus. Oh, both humans, but mine's more powerful. Both humans, but I have a more powerful human. Her virus is more powerful than mine. I can't believe how, like, this didn't happen last night when we played.
No, it didn't.
Her virus takes my human. Her virus takes my human. Her white blood cell takes my human. I'm sorry, my virus. My white blood cell takes her human. My virus is more powerful than her virus. My virus takes her human. And my white blood cell takes her human. And then she's gonna have that extra card. She's gonna add it to her pile. Because remember, she washed her hands more recently than I did. So she gets that extra card. I'm gonna mix them up a little bit. You can mix them like Ella.
Yeah, I'm not good at mixing cards.
That's okay. That's okay.
Because my mom is.
We're gonna play one more round just so you can get the feel for it, okay? So ready? Okay. Her virus takes my human. Her white blood cell takes my virus. My virus is more powerful than her virus. My white blood cell takes her virus. Oops. My white blood cell takes her human. Her white blood cell takes my white blood cell. Her virus takes my human. My white blood cell takes her human. Her white blood cell takes my virus. Her white blood cell takes my virus. My human is more powerful than her human. Her white blood cell takes my virus. My white blood cell takes her virus. her virus takes my human. My white blood cell takes her human. Her virus takes my human. And her white blood cell takes my virus. And then we would shuffle up.
I think you keep on going until you run out.
And you keep going until one person runs out, just like you would with war. So you could go forever. Or you could just go, okay, we played 3 rounds, we're good. So it's just a fun game that I thought you could play to kind of get a feel of what happens in the human body. You get a virus, your white blood cells come and they attack the virus. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here. Okay, all right, so that's a little game that you guys can play at home. I have a cootie catcher for you. Cootie catcher. So we're gonna go ahead and put this together and we're gonna quiz Mr. Sylvie. Oh, yeah, I got a look of panic, guys. Got a look of panic.
He's embarrassed.
Oh, you're gonna be okay, Mr. Sylvie. No one judges you. Look, y'all, Mr. Sylvie did not read this chapter. Mr. Sylvie, when's the last time you studied the immune system? I just got a laughter. Probably elementary school. Biology. No, probably biology in high school, right? Yeah. So it's been, what, 30 years? Not that long. Not quite that long. Okay. So we have our cootie catcher. We're going to flip it over. We're going to fold corner to corner this way. Like that. And we're going to fold to this corner. Like that. Then we're going to unfold. And then, wait, what happened? Yeah, oh, okay, I'm here now. Okay, I was like, what? Okay, and then we're going to fold the corners in. Like that. Like that. And it looks like this. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to fold these little bits down like that. And really the closer that you can, like the more accurate you fold it, the better your cookie catcher is. It's a little tricky, but you know, it's okay. It's, y'all, the purpose of this is not to have a beautiful cutie catcher. The purpose of this is to be able to review the chapter. That is really the purpose. And then we're gonna fold it in half like this. And then we're going to put our little fingers and thumbs in there, and we're gonna pop. All right, Mr. Sylvie, pick one of those. He's thinking way too hard about this. You can say it. You can use words. Immune. I-M-M-U-N-E. Which number? 1, 2. Which number? 7. The blood cells that identify and fight pathogens.
White blood cells.
The answer is white blood cells. I think he was paying attention when we were playing our game. You want to do one, Ella?
Sure.
And Ella studied this exact chapter
2 years? 2 years ago?
3 years ago?
Almost 3. 2.
You were in 5th grade. Or is this the 5th? This is the 6th grade one. You were in 6th grade. So 2 years ago. Okay, pick one.
Oh wow, these are dark topics.
Fight, disease, immune system. Immune system fights disease.
Immune system.
Which one?
Is it
Immune or
immune?
system?
Oh, immune.
Immune. I-M-M-U-N-E. I don't know if I did that right. Pick a number.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick a number. Different than Dada.
3.
3. The body's specific defense is called the
Immune system?
Okay, very close. It's immune response.
I forgot.
Did you have my mouth? Could you see me on the camera? Could you see me on the camera? No?
Well,
We'll talk about it later.
yes, you're being videoed.
Okay, so, and then now I have your Jeopardy that I sent to your mom. Look, some of you, I understand, are enjoying those as a family. That's wonderful. If that's not happening in your house, no big deal. You can just go through it yourself and just quiz yourself. See how many points you can rack up on your own just going through the Jeopardy, okay? And the last thing I want to do, if you remember way back, we were looking at germination. In our first YouTube, we actually opened plastic bags and we measured the lengths of our seeds that had germinated, right? And then we recorded all of those. And then I planted them outside. Some lived, some did not live. So the ones that lived, I would like to show you. Would you guys like to see? I'll take that as a yes. Okay, here we go. All right. Ella, can you grab the cat so she doesn't run out? And I'm gonna go this way to the door. And we're gonna go outside. It's very hot outside today. I think it's like 90 degrees, which is really weird for April. Come on, let me show you. Okay. So, these here are our zucchini. Remember I talked about zucchini bread? Do y'all remember that whole conversation, how much I love zucchini bread? I'm very excited because each one of these flowers has the potential to become a zucchini. So, and look, some of these flowers are shriveled. Oh, is that a leaf? That's a leaf. Okay, so these are our flowers. There's quite a few. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the potential for a lot of zucchini here. And very similar to that are our summer squash that are over here. If you can see those, and I have quite a few little flowers on them as well. So these have gotten pretty long and strong, and they're at the point where they're now flowering. And so once they produce their fruit, which we call vegetables, but technically they're fruit because they are containing the seeds, right? So once they produce their squash, that they produce seeds, those can be dried out and also planted again. And so then we see that the life cycle of the plant has started all over again. So I just wanted to give you a little update on those seeds that we planted in class long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Alrighty, well that's it. This is a little treat for my younger class. I'll show them later. We planted these in class too. So, all right, I'm gonna end there. So, y'all have a wonderful week. Bye.